Hello, hello. Happy Saturday morning. This is the bonus session for meal planning. Super excited. I'm going to get my Facebook up and rolling as well. So we are live streamed as well as on Zoom. For those of you that can join Zoom, I encourage you to join so you can ask questions in the chat. But I am also going to look at to join so you can ask questions. Okay, so I'm also going to pay attention to the comment section. So good morning. It's been such a fun week, so much energy, such good questions. If you are playing catch up with this week's sessions, comment down below, #replay. Let me know that you are catching up and where you are. Or have you listened to lesson 1? Have you listened to, 2, 3? What day have you gotten to and where are you? That way I can engage with you and answer your questions as you go. But this morning is the bonus session around meal planning. And I love this because so many times we overcomplicate the idea of getting food on the table. Now, let me just tell you, I grew up in a home where my dad, and he still does this because he loves it. And it just tells you how much I love it and how much my family loves it. But my dad has for years, 30 years, sold food to restaurants. Okay. So he helps them create these plates of food that are just appealing to the market, right? Because if they're not in business, he's not in business. It's this chain reaction. People talk about multi-level marketing companies, and I'm like, I've seen this for years. Because if the restaurants aren't in business, then there's no restaurant for him to sell food to, right? So he wants them to be ultimately successful and plate these beautiful plates of food that attracts people off the street to come into their restaurant. So we want plates of food like that, right? So I have always grown up with a culinary art type mindset. I love it. I actually had considered, like, with my schooling and my college, like being in interior design. I still love that. And so when I think about a plate of food, I often think about, does this look good to people? If it's like a plate of mush, and I actually have a plate of mush in our meal plan this morning, I feel like, so I'm going to show that to you. Now, you can look at it beautifully as well, but it's like a shepherd pie. Okay, so I just gave one of the meal plans away this early. But anyway, I have this mindset around make it pretty and they will come. Okay, my dad has even gone into restaurants and helped them learn what to put on the plate, how to help them upsell things. And it just creates this beautiful partnership when you're working together. So we've got to do that in our homes. Okay. We've talked a little bit about, you may be on this journey for yourself. You may be on this for a journey for your husband, your kids, your whole family, to be honest with you. Maybe you grew up and your parents are no longer around because of illness. And you are like, by God, we are going to stop this trend. Like, this generational curse is going to stop now. And we often hear of generational curses when we think about divorce, right? And when we think about these negative things. But type 1 diabetes, okay, is an autoimmune condition. Type 2 diabetes is an autoimmune condition. Autoimmune in themselves, fibromyalgia. These are generational curses. We can, even if we have the gene, we can stop the gene from presenting itself. Okay. I know my kids are plagued with some negative genetics, right? I'm just going to say it. It sounds horrible because they've also got some positive genetics. But we know, like, their bodies don't detox well. I grew up, like, even in high school, being very conscious of my skin and being very self-conscious, to be honest with you, and always feeling like, even if I was at the beach, I needed to put on a little bit of makeup. My daughter has the most gorgeous skin. And I can see that and how it plays a part in what we eat. She can go off and do her own thing for a weekend and come back with these little bumps that she as well gets irritated by. So we see the cause and effect, and I just want to empower you. All this to say, I want to empower you to just make this change for yourself. But the more beautiful we make the journey, the more appealing it is to us, the more appealing it is to those around us, the less crazy they think we are. Who in your home thinks like, God, you're crazy for like embarking on this journey? Can we not just go like have a pizza? And the answer is yes, you can, but you need to know how to detox your body and what the consequences are going to be. I'm actually going to tell on myself. There is this really nice pizza place in town that my husband and I have never gone to, right? Never, because we're just not going to subject our entire family to it. But last night, both of our kids went off with friends, and impromptu, within 30 minutes, we look at each other and we're like, we are kid free. And we were on that side of town. In order to get, to other restaurants would have been 15, 20 minutes. Anyway, we're like, let's just go try it. Let's go see what the hype is all about. Okay, so we get there, and they sell meatballs. Like, you walk in the door and it's just this Italian aroma just hitting you in the face, like this amazing pizza restaurant. So I got these big old meatballs. Yes, there was probably a little bit of breadcrumb in there, and I could actually like taste and smell the fresh Parmesan, but they were also covered with some fresh diced tomatoes. And you could tell it was not your average packaged like meatball. And then they had these paleo plates where it was this crustless pizza. And all this to say, like, we were overly impressed with the options, but I will do that from time to time and test something on myself before I subject my entire family to it, and just do it in a more casual way so I can look at the menu, I can pay attention. So sometimes just going in with a simplistic mind is key. Okay, that's how we're going to look at meal planning. If you've ever heard of KISS, like keep it super simple or keep it stupid simple, right? Just keep it simple is so important. Don't overcomplicate. We are not, I will tell you, I have tried and tried and tried to like remake macaroni and cheese. Okay, like we used to be casserole queens. We used to like love that lemon chopped chicken poppy, or the chicken poppy seed casserole with that cream of chicken soup. And let me just tell you, there's no good canned cream of chicken soup out there that's going to serve your body well. So we've got to keep it super simple. The most successful restaurants that stay in business, even if it is a $50 a plate restaurant at night, I have heard my dad over and over, the most profitable thing they can do, because it's the most appealing to the society, is to do a like meat and 3 vegetable plate at lunch. Like, who has those places in town where you can just go get a simple, like, hamburger steak and some green beans and, just some side items. If you're anywhere around Tuscaloosa, 15th Street Diner, Northport Diner, all those diners, if you're, so think about the diners in your town. I know I'm up in Huntsville now, and there's some here, but I really haven't like explored those. So there's some here as well, mainly because the oils, the butter, so you still get that, but the concept, guys, okay, this is where I was going with that, the concept. Try to have like a meat and 2 to 3 vegetables in your home, and have those as backup plans when you don't have a good recipe on hand. Okay, so I ran into this situation Thursday night. Our kids had baseball and soccer both on Thursday night. So I know when they come home from school, we basically have 45 minutes before we have to leave the house. Fish is so fast to cook. It is so fast to cook fish. So I immediately pulled fish out of the freezer, wild caught fish. I buy it to where it's individually packaged. So there's 4 of us, really quick, put 4 fillets out. They can thaw in seconds. There's a thaw plate on Amazon, and we'll share with you, that can help you thaw your meat really, really fast. I'll put it in this group later on after this call. So it thaws out meat really quick. So I did some fish, some green beans, some asparagus, and we called it a day, right? Just meat and 2 vegetables. The other thing I like to do is to keep fresh or frozen hamburger patties on hand. I say fresh because they are the organic, grass-fed, pre-made hamburger patties, and keep those on hand. And if you're don't have a sensitivity to onions, you can cover those with onions. You can cover them with coconut amino and some garlic, and put those in the oven while 2 other vegetables are cooking. You've got an amazing hamburger steak, right? So we keep it super simple. Y'all know from following me, we are a very active sports family. I love it. I love it. I love that our kids love sports. I love everything about it. But it creates times where we have to keep things super simple. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to hop into meal planning. I told you guys this morning that we are going to have this bonus session, and I am going to keep it powerful, like just full of information for you. All right. Let's see. Do we have if you have any questions, let me know as we go. Got some people live. That's awesome. And now I got to think about what I was in. I was going to share my screen with you. Let me share this. So how's everybody doing? What are you eating? What are you drinking? Put down in the comment section. Have you had breakfast? Let's talk about food, since this is all about nutrition. Have you had breakfast? Have you, are you eating now? Like, what are we doing? I'm going to simplify my Chrome look before Okay, thank you for letting me know. Okay, sorry, we lost audio there for a few seconds. Can you guys hear me? Just making sure. Hello, can y'all hear me? Just making sure. Okay, yes. Okay, I'm good. All right. Hello, can y'all? Awesome, guys. So sorry. All right, are you seeing the meal plan? We are ready to go. Okay, so I have put together a 3-day meal plan. This is what I had told you guys I wanted to bring in and talk about that. Now I'm going to talk about things, and if you want to get a pen and a piece of paper, by the time you leave here, you're going to have over a week's worth of ideas. I've already given you some, okay? Talking about the simple hamburger steak and vegetables. I've already talked about that. I've talked about fish. As we go through this, I'm going to talk about ways to also like tweak it, okay? Because some people I know in this group who have been watching and very active cannot have nightshades. We've talked about histamines. I'm going to point those out. So as you go through this, make notes. Okay, so the key here in the morning that I like to point out from a nutritional standpoint is we need protein. Okay, we need protein. At the same time that we need protein, we need carbs, right? We have to have nutrition, we have to have energy, but we do not need our body to like be hungry in 30 minutes. And if it is, I mean, there are some gut issues, right, that keep your body feeling really bloated and really full for hours after you eat. And there's also some gut issues that make you feel really hungry 30 minutes after you eat. So we've got to really take care of both of those. All right, so in the morning here, I have given you some chicken breakfast sausage. I love this recipe. Now, when I send you the link for this, you can click on the 3 dots that are beside this, and you can view those recipe, view those recipe details. So this is with ground chicken. So if you are not a pork eater, this is great for you, just to be able to have that ground chicken, and it brings in those herbs. So you have some very yummy flavor. I have coupled that with a mango mint smoothie. I think mint is so energizing in the mornings. There's actually a little bit of lemon in my drink here, just to get that detox going, in the body. And then mint can really help if you have a tendency for like that morning sluggishness or morning headaches. So we've got that breakfast sausage coupled with a mango mint smoothie. All right, I am watching the comments here. So if you guys have any let's see. Someone tried the Applegate turkey bacon this morning. That is, I love it, love it. I love Applegate quick and easy protein options. And you can add that to in here instead of the chicken breakfast sausage. You can also add it the second morning. I did a beef breakfast sausage patty, just to give your body some variety of meat as well as you. Okay, maybe you like beef, or maybe you don't. Some people don't eat red meat, and I try to, one thing that I do is lean into that, lean into what those preferences are. So there is a paleo sweet potato porridge that brings in some really healthy carbs, as well as gives us an opportunity to put some ghee in there for some healthy fat. And then the third morning, we have some apple sausage bites. I love apples in the morning, but I spoke to a young lady yesterday, a sweet person that is still trying to bring apples back after having removed all FODMAPs. And my heart goes out to those that are still in that healing journey. We need to heal the gut so you can bring those foods back. There's so much value in an apple when it comes to a histamine, from a histamine perspective. And it also brings in the fiber, and it's just an easy, quick and grab. All right, so snack wise, I have listed here some guacamole plantain chips, and then a latte, like a golden turmeric latte. And that's kind of going out on a whim. It's got some ginger in it. It's really full of flavor, but it's also extremely anti-inflammatory. Okay. So just depending on where you are in your journey, it's very anti-inflammatory. Now, I'm one who, when I started my journey, I was very sensitive to turmeric and curcumin, right? I could not do it. I don't know why my gut did not like it, but that is one reason I try to tell people you cannot put yourself in this box, because it was a huge fad right then of everybody needs to be taking this. And everybody did not include Jennifer. It actually caused my body more harm than good, until I healed my gut. And now I can take it, I can enjoy it. I can do something like this latte, and navigate, the coffee desire. Not that coffee is bad, but in large quantities, or just your generic coffee can have a lot of mold, right? So we want to buy a very good coffee that tends to be a little bit on the pricier side, and then do that in moderation, to support our adrenals. Our hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenals will love you if you just let your body's energy flow without coming in and giving it those extra energizing sources of caffeine. Okay, so the next snack is a lemon ginger smoothie. Again, I love ginger, but if you are not a fan of ginger, then you could leave the ginger out. But lemon is very detoxifying. We've spoken this week about detoxification, how important that is. We've also had a very anti-inflammatory focus. So that was my focus of this as well. Now back on snack one, we talked a lot about histamines. If you are battling histamines, then you may want to navigate that guacamole. But that is the one thing I try to bring back really fast in my clients when we're healing that histamine response, is to get that bucket empty, drain out the other stressors on the body so we can bring back in that healthy fat. Okay, so I hope that is something that has really hit home to you this week, is the idea that we have to empty that bucket. What are the other stressors we can pull out so we can bring in the healthy things that are tipping our body over the top right now? And if that is avocado, God love you, we need to bring that back. Again, in moderation. I can tell you that I have been in and out of the hospital with my husband the last couple of weeks. Okay. So, and one thing I want to tell you is you can gain weight off of avocado and almonds, but you can also feel really great. Okay. So I do not want you to focus on your weight all the time. Now I can tell right now that, you know, there's maybe an additional 5 pounds or something. I'm not saying like 15 or 50, but I can tell that. And I just kind of ride that wave and pay attention. So if they're like, well, I'm eating a whole avocado a day. I'm like, that's probably a little bit too much. So it depends on where you are in your journey. All right, let's move on to lunch. I put these little sidebars in there because I know everybody's in a different place on their journey, and I don't want to, I want to approach that. All right, let's see if anybody's got any questions. All right, awesome. All right, so we're going to move into lunch. Now, one thing I want to tell you about lunch, you're not going to be in the kitchen cooking these meals every single day, right? But for a free bonus, who doesn't want an extra recipe? Okay, so to be honest with you, if you wanted to move these over, you definitely could. I will move them back. But hello, like when I was looking at giving you this bonus, I was like, I'm not going to do that to them. I'm not going to list lunch as a leftover, because then you're only getting those 3 recipes. But one thing that you could do is say, oh, this one's the same. I didn't realize that. I will put another recipe in there for you. So since you have this 1-pan paleo plate here, and you could bring it over here for a leftover, we toggle this as a leftover. The reason I love using this program is because when that is in there as a leftover, it lets you know you're not cooking, but you're also not rebuying those ingredients again. It lets you know. And then you could bring this, if this was here, then you would have it for lunch. So anyway, my idea is you could have this rosemary lemon chicken skillet from dinner at lunch. Then you could have the 1-pan chicken golden cauliflower again at lunch. Now, I will tell you that leftovers pose a problem for some people. We'll move these back. So when I send this to you, and I'm going to leave this one grayed out, and I'll swap that recipe. Let's see what it gives us. And if I don't like it, I'll go in and list something else. Okay. So, oh, that's a fun lunch. Okay. So what I want to let you know is that, yes, there are times when my clients are like, I don't eat leftovers very well. And there was a time that we never ate leftovers that had not been frozen. Okay. If your body is in a complete histamine response, then leftovers will pose that problem. It's a lot to talk through, but I have ways of navigating that so you can enjoy leftovers. And also there's a difference in eating leftovers from home and leftovers from a restaurant. So it depends on how you've tried it. Okay, so I just want to let you know that I will work through that with you, and we will eliminate that concern. But I know you're not going to be in the kitchen cooking. So here's really 6 recipes for you guys. Okay, I just wanted to give you all the value I could. Okay, here is a snack. I know someone in this workshop, and I'm not naming names, just I know who it is, right? But there's someone who's having a hard time eating carrots and some of these root vegetables. And I talked a little bit yesterday about the oral allergy response. So this snack I knew would not be good for everybody, but it's got like the carrots and the guacamole. You could also replace the carrots with like bell peppers, and jicama, like the jicama is really crunchy fruit, but when you bake it, it's like a potato. Okay, no other comments. I thought I saw something. All right, the next snack is a coconut panna cotta. Now, I loved seeing this recipe, and I left it here because I myself want to try it. But you could easily replace that with like a coconut yogurt, something simple. Okay, you don't have to bake it, you don't have to make it. But a coconut yogurt, those plant-based yogurts that I have suggested are wonderful options. Top it with some blueberries. You've got a quick snack. So if you're packing this for work, there's going to be different levels of effort that work well for you. If you are in my program, we're working through that. We are working very personalized with you to make sure it fits your lifestyle. The next one is a carrot and beet salsa with plantain chips. Now, I love this because with the carrot and beet salsa, you don't have the nightshades and you don't have the histamines. There's a little bit with the plantains because plantains are full, they have higher levels of sugar. If we're fighting candida, maybe we want to substitute that with something else. But it's a very good mixed plate. Okay, we've got some good nutritional value across the board without it being a histamine overload. If that was tomato salsa with plantains and you have a histamine issue, your body would be like, holy moly, let's hold out for a second. Okay, so we talked about the dinners a little bit. I love one-pan meals. I wanted to give you that as a power pack bonus here because the one-pan meals can be very quick and easy. I mentioned to you the other night, like we had 45 minutes from school to the ballpark. If you can prep, if you are like at home or working from home, or you get home and you have those fast moments, get a cookie sheet out, put everything on it, line up your vegetables, line up your meat, line up another vegetable, stick that sucker in the oven, and then you can engage with your children, you can engage with your husband, you can do laundry, you can like do another activity for 35 minutes while that is all baking, pull it out, enjoy your dinner, and you have one pan to clean up. Just a little tip for you. Rosemary lemon skillet. Again, this is a one skillet meal. And then the one pan chicken and golden cauliflower, again, a one pan meal, giving you some quick and simple tips. That's one thing about this group and particularly this workshop is I am talking to those of us that need help because we don't have 50 hours to spend in the kitchen, right? We need something consolidated in like 5 hours per week. Okay, so the last snack here, this is like very optional, but I don't want to leave anything out. I wanted to give you every square completely filled. All right, so this immune boosting bone broth. Bone broth can be great, again, if you do not have a histamine reaction. Kombucha fits into that category. I used to have my counters full of scobies, which were those live bacterial components that were fermenting and making kombucha. And it was killing my body because I just wasn't ready. So bone broth can kind of be the same thing, but if you home make it, the faster you drink it, the less histamines they are. Just be careful, but it can have so many good immune boosting components that once you reduce that load, once we reduce that load on your body, here is that power packed recipe for you. In the evening, we've talked a lot about sleep and the value of sleep. So I wanted to kind of bring you these next two as a relaxing snack, something that bring in the fresh mint tea, bring in the chamomile tea as an evening kind of a habit, right? To get your body prepared, get you ready for sleep. And then if you want something to snack along with that, applesauce and berries, just some great antioxidants, strawberries with coconut whip, that brings in like the healthy fat. None of these are really high in sugar, but if you need to balance out blood sugar, add some protein there. One thing that I did not sprinkle throughout this meal plan is nuts. I left it nut free. Now, why? And you're going to say, you may say, why? Well, first of all, they're so easy for you to grab. Like, why do you need those on a meal plan? Right? So if it was something like that you don't need help grabbing real quick, and it's, everybody's like, oh, nuts are a quick grabbing source. Just add them in here where you need it, right? So I didn't want to like leave out a good recipe to put in like a handful of nuts for you. So I'm going to tell you that anywhere in this plan, if you have a tendency to need to balance blood sugar more, you can add in that handful of nuts. If you're working on your thyroid, add in a handful of Brazil nuts, right? So those are some easy add-ins for you that I don't need to sit here and tell you, what that recipe is. I don't need to give you that idea other than just planting that seed. I feel like a lot of times we're oversimplifying things by saying, hey, just grab a handful of fruit, nuts, cut up vegetables. And we're like, we're so sick of hearing that, right? So here's your power packed menu plan. I am going to share this with each and every one of you. I'm going to stop sharing this now so I can get back on the screen, and I will share that with you. Thank you so much for those that have watched. You can put in the comment section if you have any questions and let me know, but I have loved connecting with you every single day this week. So 2 reminders. One is every day's recording is in this group. Okay, so if you are with us on Saturday morning right now because you've worked Monday through Friday, I totally get it. But we have recordings from every day this week that are about 30 minutes long, and you can go in and catch up. We have talked all week about how to navigate nutrition with a busy lifestyle. We've talked about autoimmune conditions. We've talked about hormones. We've talked about sleep. We've talked about histamines. We've talked about stress. We have talked about all the things related to autoimmune, celiac, and mast cell, which are both autoimmune conditions, but I've specifically identified those, and throughout the conversation, identified fibromyalgia, RA, MS, and some others. Okay, so go back and listen to those. The second thing is if you have not booked a connect call, book those. Okay, I don't care where you are in your journey. I have a dear client that I saw pop up on my calendar for this next week. I'm so excited to connect with her. So wherever you are in your journey, book a connect call. Let's connect and see how this has resonated. What questions has it brought up? And I look forward to talking to you. I will put all those links in the down in the comment section of today's live, so you can just quickly go and grab. But in this group are the videos, and I look forward to connecting with you later. Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for joining me on a Saturday morning. Talk to you soon.